your business will absolutely fail. Like, no questions asked, like 100%. Guaranteed if you're not doing this in 2025. And I'm going to tell you this because it literally happened to myself in the past year in 2024, where I had what seemed to be a very sturdy foundation of $22K American a month for like 9 straight months. And then things really fucking hit the fan. And I felt like I had no idea what I was going to do. And now, before I tell you what that is, if you're new to this channel, my name is Nicholas Bueno. I run a marketing agency called Coach Cookies. We help coaches book an extra 15 to 20 calls in their calendar. There's a link below in the description where you can check out all the case studies we have. Corey Armstrong got from 10K a month to 50K a month. Steve Cotter, 12x his monthly income. Mark Sandor, 4x his income. There's a ton of shit down there. So if you want to check it out, go ahead. Subscribe to the channel, drop a like, leave a comment if you find this video helpful. But anyways, this video is super, super important to me because a lot of marketing and business gurus don't talk about this. Now, I see it get talked about more and more as time goes on, which is awesome. But without doing this, all of the hacks and the strategies and business tactics and algorithm hacks, they're not going to work. Like, they're going to fall flat on their face. And if they do work, you're still going to hate yourself and it's going to suck. I'm being a really doomsday right now, and I'm not trying to scare you or even come across as super negative, but it is super important for you to do internal work. And if I'm losing you now because I say that, that's quite all right. The right people will stick around. But a huge lesson that I've learned this year is as within, so without. Your outside world will always reflect your internal world. And until you get super clear on understanding what is inside here, and how it's manifesting in the world around you, nothing's really going to matter. Even if you make a ton of money and you're still unfulfilled, you're still unhappy, you still don't know why you haven't felt like you're the best person in the world, even though you're making $1 million. None of this is worth it without dialing in these two things, because what else is life for other than to live it? Like, really, at the end of the day, a lot of people talk about what the meaning of life is. I've seen some influencers say the meaning of life is, to provide for the people you love. And that's a wonderful feeling. And I'm not going to tell people that you shouldn't strive for that, because I've had the ability to do so in the last little bit in smaller capacities than, I don't know, I'm not like buying my parents a house or anything like that. So in certain capacities, I have been able to provide for my family and other people that I really care about and really love. And it's a wonderful, wonderful feeling. I'm not taking away from that. Even Hormozy talks about, like, the point of the work is just doing the work. I firmly reject that. I think that works for him, which is great. We'll never understand fully what's going on internally with him, but the point of life is to live it. And your business needs to make your life better as well as making other people's lives better. It needs to be win-win-win, right? If it's just making other people's lives better, but you're miserable, what's the point? Like, who cares? If it's making your life better and not helping other people, obviously that's like a scam. But the thing that's radically changed my perspective on business and has made me feel so much more confident and so much more hopeful and inspired about moving forward as a business owner is doing the internal work, sitting and meditating, journaling, understanding what's going on up here, doing breath work, trying a bunch of different modalities to shift the energy and engage my internal process, because I realized after a certain amount of time, multiple months on end, making good money, things kept kind of falling apart. Relationships with people in my life were falling apart. My overall satisfaction and fulfillment just wasn't there anymore. And the foundation that I had built my business on was shaky, because deep down, I really, really hated myself. And I really thought negatively about who I was as a person. I didn't think I deserved good things. And that reflects in your business. You don't have any boundaries with your clients. You're taking on clients that maybe you shouldn't be taking on because you missed the red flags. Even though you're making good money, you're losing lots of it. And you're not actually building wealth because you're hoping that buying a coaching program is going to make you whole as a human being, rather than using it as a tool to help you get a result and make a greater impact in the world. And if that doesn't sound like, well, who cares if the end result's the same? It really matters the intention you go in with it, right? It's like if you go to the gym because you love working out and you feel healthy, that's much different than going to the gym because you hate yourself and starving yourself because you think you're ugly and fat. Those are two completely different worlds. Something I've learned recently is that if you don't become the person who's worthy of attracting and keeping your goals in the long run, you're never going to get there. Like, it doesn't matter how many actions you take or what actions you take, but if your internal systems aren't dialed in, if you don't have a grand vision, if you don't feel good about who you are, if you absolutely need the money to feel good about yourself, the amount of money you make isn't actually going to matter. Like if you're like, I need this to run away from who I am because I hate who I am, and $1 million is going to make me feel good about myself, you're going to get to $1 million and realize, oh, I need $2 million now. You're going to get to $2 million and realize, oh, I need $10 million now. It's just going to keep going. If you're actually not okay with who you are right now and realize I have enough in this moment and I'm okay in this moment and I don't need other things in order to feel whole as I am as a human being, yeah, none of the other stuff's going to matter. You're going to make a lot of money. You're not going to care. You're going to run good marketing systems. They're going to go well. It's not going to matter. And then you're going to actually hate your business. You're not going to like doing the things that bring you income. You're not going to like doing the things at your job because what's the point? Like, it's not actually changing the internal state. And that's the problem, is that your business isn't made to make you feel worthy as a human being. Like I said at the beginning, you shouldn't feel miserable with your business. Like, your business should serve you. I'm not saying that you should just completely abandon what you want in order for the greater good or for the impact or for the vision. Like, there are times where, sacrificing health, like staying up late and pulling all-nighters can help, especially if you're in the early phases building a business. Like, sometimes that happens. There are seasons of that. But if you're constantly burning the candle at both ends and feeling like the business isn't giving you a good feeling, then you're going to crash out. You're going to burn out. And like I said, your business isn't supposed to make you feel whole as a human being. It's supposed to serve you. It's a tool that you use to impact other people's lives in a good manner. And it's a tool that you use to impact your life in a good manner. Because again, you don't want to build a prison. You don't want to build something that you look at a year, 5 years, 10 years from now and be like, well, that was a fucking waste of time because I still hate myself. So now if you're watching this and you're kind of resonating with what I'm saying, how do you engage the internal process? How do you shift out of self-hatred? How do you shift out of insecurity? How do you shift out of worthlessness? I started with meditation and journaling every day. Just do it. I don't put a time limit on it. Just do it. Just engage the process, because you start to learn that your thoughts are just thoughts and you don't have to believe them. You start to learn how to analyze what's going on inside of you without needing to make something mean anything. If you have a negative belief, you don't need to make it about who you are as a person. I've also done a lot of breath work. I've done hypnotherapy. I've done mushroom journeys. Sorry, mom and dad. I've done Akashic record readings. I've done tarot readings. I've prayed and gone to church. I've done a lot of shit. I can't think of every single tactic I've done off the top of my head. I've done Reiki. There you go. There's another one. I've gone to retreats. Duh. How can I forget retreats? I've fasted. I've, tried different forms of exercise. I've danced. Anything you can do to get out of your head and into your body helps. Because at the end of the day, I find, especially in the West, we focus so, and I love the West, don't get me wrong, but I find that we focus so much on what's going on up here that we forget there's this entire other element happening below us that carries so much emotion, that carries so much weight, that carries so much meaning, and we just completely disregard it. Any emotion that you don't express gets stored in the body. And if you aren't working to work with your body and understand what's going on in your body and how that impacts your life as a whole, it's just going to stay there. I've experienced it firsthand. Literally, I felt like my business was falling apart at the beginning of the year. Yeah, income was high for the first 5 or 6 months, but I really did feel insecure. I really did feel lost. And it wasn't until I engaged this process really and sat in the fires and watched as income fluctuated and felt like maybe things were going to fall apart and learned to be okay even at those moments, that's when I felt whole and worthy. That I didn't need the money to feel good about who I was. That I didn't need the status, the business, the achievements. But to me, the biggest flex was how I feel about myself and who am I as a person. Because you can't take that away from me. If money goes away, you can always make money back. If the business struggles, you can always get it back. There's always things you can do. If you have an unshakable foundation of belief and love for yourself, nothing can faze you. So anyways, those are things that I want you to ponder, things I want you to think about, because I think they're important. And why not enjoy yourself? If you don't enjoy, what's the point of going 80, 90 years and just despising yourself and not liking it the whole time? So anyways, things I want you to ruminate on and meditate on and journal about. But anyways, I've said but anyways probably 4 times in this video. Jesus. Subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be integrating more videos like this into my content, in which I talk about things that are more spiritual, mystical, emotional, intuitive, because I think they're super important, and I think a lot of people ignore them, and I think they're such a needle mover in terms of helping you grow a business and a life, create a business and a life that you're super proud of. drop a like on this video. Drop a comment if you have any questions or any notes. I'll talk to you guys later. See you next video. Peace.